Hello, everyone. Welcome to Yoga and How to Modify It. My name is Dee. I'll be guiding your practice today, whether you're seated on a chair, you could be on the floor, wherever you're comfortable, legs in a comfortable position. You could lie down if you'd like. If you're seated, press into your sits bones, those bones right underneath, pressing into your skin and then pressing into the prop you might be on. And let's gently close our eyes. And just let ourselves kind of catch up to our stillness as we settle in more and more. See if it works to think about drawing your energy inside, looking at your internal landscape throughout this practice, practicing yoga from the inside out, going more by what you feel than by how you might look. Begin to pay attention to your breath. Maybe focusing on your chest or rib cage, maybe focusing on the breath moving through the throat or into the nostrils. And I thought today we would have a student choice pranayama. What I'd like you to do is pick from any of the breaths I've practiced with you this semester. There's belly breathing, Ujjayi, victory or ocean breath. There's extended exhales. There's inserting a pause in between half breaths and only having one pause in a complete breath. There's also the option of moving to two pauses in the complete breath. Excuse me, there's 4, 7, 8 breath, lots of different choices. So pick one and begin as you're ready, moving at a pace that's comfortable for your body. And as you focus on your breath, I'd like to share some wisdom. And this comes from a man, named Giovanna Heyman, who I saw in a workshop online a few years ago. So now I follow him on Instagram. He writes, and by the way, his specialty is yoga for accessibility. He writes, one central concept that informs all of my teaching is the understanding that each yoga practice exists on a spectrum of possibility. This is similar to the concept of asana progressions, where you add elements of a practice to experience some kind of full expression of the pose. But this idea of asanas being in a spectrum is much more neutral. There are infinite ways of expressing each asana or pose, and each one is equal to all of the others. I've let go of the idea of a beginner and an advanced practitioner, since they create a false dichotomy. The idea of exploring an asana on a spectrum is much more inviting and more inclusive. We can each find our own special place on that spectrum of practice that is as valid and effective based on how our body, our breath, and our mind are experiencing this present moment. I'd like you to keep that in mind as you continue to practice over winter break before we come back next semester. You can let go of your pranayama practice. That student chose breath work you decided to engage in. You might note how that breath felt, how comfortable you were doing it. It's really nice to let you, as a student, have more control over your practice so that you can go with what your body wants as you tune in more to your body. Let's take some deeper breaths in and out. Filling the lungs as fully as we can, and then exhaling, reversing the breath. When you're ready to begin moving, let's start with some sun breaths. And you can change the way your feet or legs are positioned. Inhaling the arms up overhead, reaching to the sky, exhaling, the arms come down. Let's keep moving in this manner. Finding our own pace, maybe going a little faster than the average, maybe going a little slower, but going at a speed that works for your body and your mind. Helping you slow down, connect, ground yourself. Good. The next time your arms are up overhead with that extension, lean forward and come into a forward fold. Doesn't matter how the legs are shaped. Let the hands release more quickly and let your back lift enough to come into some flatness, head in line with the torso. We're going gentle on our bodies here today. We've already done 2 movements of the spine. We've extended and we've folded forward. Let's go ahead and round our shoulders a little more. See if you can draw your elbows maybe in towards the hips to get that rounding in. And then start to dip the chin towards the chest, bringing the top of the head down towards the legs or the floor. And just breathing here for a few moments. As we inhale, let's lift our arms up over the head if we're able. If not, walk your hands towards your hips and keep them low in your lap. So on the next inhale, go ahead and move in your own way. And then exhale, sitting up nice and tall here. Good. Let's inhale the arms back up overhead. We're going to take our last 3 smallest fingers. We're going to interlace them and let them kind of curl over the opposite hand. Have your pointer finger and your thumb out. We'll arch the back with the next inhale, moving the thumb back behind us, lifting the chest, chin lifts too. Keep your shoulders as much over your hips as you can. And exhale, coming back straight up and down and releasing the arms down by your side. We'll inhale, arms back up overhead. Left hand grabs right. We'll exhale, bending left, opening right. Inhale to come back up. Exhale, let's release the arms back down by our sides. If you need to kind of wiggle, any joint movement that feels good on your body before inhaling the arms back up again. This time, right arm grabs left wrist. Exhale, lean right, open left. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, release those arms down by your side. Good. Let's come into a twist by bending up through one knee. Doesn't matter which knee, take the opposite hand holding onto the knee, or bring the elbow to the inside between the chest and the knee. Leave your opposite leg lengthen. In fact, press through your heel and sit up on the next inhale nice and tall, drawing the free hand back behind you, tenting it, supporting you by the hip, maybe flattening the palm. It's up to you, whatever feels good. Inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, twist. Hold here for a breath or two. When you're ready, let the exhale release your chest, coming forward, squaring off the shoulders again, releasing that hand, and we'll straighten out through the bent knee, switching sides, bending the opposite knee towards the sky, sitting up nice and tall on the sits bones. We bring opposite arm over in some way. Free hand comes back as we turn our chest. We're pressing through the extended leg heel, sitting up nice and tall on the inhale, exhale to twist. Maybe look back behind you. Breathe. Releasing as you're ready on the next exhale. Coming around to the front, squaring off again. And maybe leaning back on the hands or supporting yourself by your hips. Moving your legs, pointing and flexing the feet. I'm going to move on up to table for some cat-cows. And then I'm going to show you some of the props that I have collected over the years and see what might grab your attention, what you might want to use as a prop. You might find them in garage sales, at thrift stores, or at a store, local place, I hope. So as you're ready, we'll come on up. Maybe you already own some of these things. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Make your tabletop shape and then begin to breathe as you press into cat, rounding the spine. And then release the navel, arching the spine, coming into cow. Keep going at your own pace here. Letting the spine undulate. Feeling an awareness of how the spine is reacting to being moved in all of the ways here. The first few minutes of our yoga class together. Let's bring our spine to neutral. And the first thing I'll show you is this Pilates ball or yoga ball, exercise ball, pick your name. It's really nice for a few things, but what I wanted to show you today is the ability to come back into wheel or to do a bridge or an arch. So what I'll do is bring the ball right to my hips. Maybe my feet are along the outside, or the ball can be just slightly away from the body. It might even work to have you stand, sit on the ball, and then lean back, maybe holding on to a piece of furniture or the wall. We'll let our back drape over the ball, and we can bring our arms up over our head, walk our feet out wide, keep the knees bent. We can roll the ball from our shoulder, right behind our head, to our hips. Get a nice stretch there. Do what you feel you need to do to stay safe. Try not to roll off the ball to the right or to the left. Then many of you know the benefit of sitting on a ball later, or sun salutation, and actually sitting on the ball might be a really nice way to modify that little sequence, that little vinyasa sequence. So the other thing I wanted to show you that can help with the spine and just stretching it out is this wheel. Go ahead and put this ball up where it won't roll around. Same idea, just a smaller diameter. For this one, we can sit on the floor. We can bring the wheel right to us and we can lay back, either keep our arms down low here to have control or reach the arms up and back behind the head. We can stretch the part of our back that feels good to stretch, maybe stay away from other parts that might not be safe to roll by. I'm just kind of learning what works for you and your body. I think I got this off of the Amazon, but I have seen them more recently in stores. The next thing I wanted to show you is a foot massage. I got this in some kind of kit years ago for Christmas and can be rolled under the feet. I also encourage people to use a tennis ball under the feet and just kind of roll the tennis ball all around the surface of the foot. Same idea with this massager. Yes, this is yoga. It's encouraging, increasing the circulation in the area being massaged. Another thing I wanted to show is a block and a tennis ball. This will work behind the head. Hi, Stretch. Thanks for joining us. What we'll do is we'll place the ball right at the center under the occipital bone. And we'll place the the block on top of that. So, and we're going to lay down on our mat. This angle may be too intense for a lot of people. Maybe you take the block away and you're left with the tennis ball, and that is sufficient for you to just kind of release your head on top of the ball. Let the pressure be somewhere that feels comfortable and good. You can lie here as long as you'd like. But I did want to show some releasing of fascia tissue behind the neck. That's where we tend to hold a lot of stress. Then we used one ball for that, one ball and one block for that little somatic exercise. I often use 2 blocks in a yoga class so that I can lift myself up away from the floor a little more easily. So that's another prop you can use along with maybe stacks of books for the same purpose. Sometimes we use a strap. It's helpful for some to draw the knee in towards the chest. I'll put this right here so that when we get to our pigeon, reclined pigeon and reclined eagle, we can do that. The model using a strap for those poses. All right, so just a little break to do that. Let's go ahead and move into a chair exercise, or you can do this sequence seated on the mat or standing. So I want you to pick something that'll work for your body today. All are possible. I'm going to move in my chair to the middle of my seat. I'm trying to get enough of my feet and legs in front of me that I can lift them without losing my balance. So maybe that's how you ultimately choose the spot you're going to stay in. So we'll sit up nice and tall. We've done these before, so just selecting the level of how you want to be when you practice this vinyasa flow. Inhale, lifting the arms up overhead into a V. Exhale, hands come into cactus arms. Inhale, cow. Lift the chin, open the chest, arms go way back. We'll exhale, bringing the hands forward, leaving them shoulder height, tucking chin to the chest. In other words, cat. Inhale, come straight with your spine. So you're moving it to neutral. The pelvis is neutral. Arms stay lifted. Exhale, next exhale, lowers the body into a forward fold. Let your upper body hang. Inhale, come halfway up. Hands come to knees. Exhale, fold into your forward fold again. Inhale, come back up to that neutral seat, arms or stance, arms straight out in front of the body. Exhale, bring one knee to the chest. Inhale, release that knee. Exhale, release, lift the opposite knee into the chest. Inhale, release. Exhale, we'll turn and twist to one side. Inhale, we come back to front. Exhale, turn and twist to the opposite side. Inhale, back to front, and arms go up overhead. Exhale, our hands to our heart. Arms down by our side. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale the arms up into a V. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release into the forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up to neutral. Exhale, knee to chest, one side. Inhale, back to neutral. Exhale, knee to chest, opposite side. Inhale, back to neutral. Exhale, twist, dropping one arm, lifting it up and back. Inhale, back to neutral. Exhale, opposite side, twist. Inhale, back to neutral and up to a V. Exhale, hands to the heart. Take a moment for a breath here. If you'd like to change your position, that's an option. Inhale the arms up. In a V. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, neutral. Oops. Inhale, halfway up. That's what I meant. Exhale, forward fold again. Inhale, neutral. Come all the way up to seated. Good. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, twist. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist opposite. Inhale, back to center. Arms up in a V. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a breath again here. Note how it felt from either your mat, a chair, or from a standing position. We're going to move to a practice where we're going to use the wall for the next few minutes. So we'll move things out of the way and have some things where we can use them. All right. So let's use the wall. I think I'll come over to this side here. Actually, the shelves might be perfect. Maybe I'll use the wall. I'm going to walk close enough to the wall that I can touch it when I reach out with my hand. I'll now reach out with both hands, flatten my palm as I bend over. I'm going to walk as far away as I need to lower my chest and my head right next to my arms. So the ears are right by the biceps. My feet are hip distance apart, right in front of me. And from this wall, we'll come into a downward dog by pressing our hands into the wall, dropping the head between the arms, and letting the chest release from the center in between the shoulders. Take a breath or two here, standing nice and tall. Another option besides using a wall is to use a chair. Maybe that involves bending a little lower, or from this, holding on from the seat, or keeping more lifted, holding on to the top of the back of the chair. Breathing. Let's inhale, lifting up. We'll walk our feet towards the wall or the chair. And let's now do a few poses here from the wall. First one is to come into triangle pose. Let's walk our feet apart. Wide angle pose here. And let's lean our body against the wall. We'll turn one toe towards the side wall. I'm going to move my mat. So part of making yoga your own is taking the time to set things up that make you comfortable. Normally I can't practice yoga so close to the wall, right? So we're going to turn one set of toes towards the short end of the mat. I'm going to put these a little closer, actually. We're going to lean from standing up nice and tall. We're going to lean over, releasing our bottom hand, palm forward, maybe lifting our top hand or bringing that arm to the hip or waist. If we want, let's turn our chest towards the floor. We'll reach that top hand and arm down. Maybe we'll move it a larger distance away from the wall. Let's see if we can revolve that triangle by lifting the opposite arm up towards the stars. And it's the arms running along the wall here, so you're feeling nice and safe and secure. Maybe there's a chair that you can place your hand on right here, placing the hand on the seat or the back. Okay, so opening up the chest in triangle and in revolved triangle. Let's come back up to standing. Rotate our toes from the leg we chose forward, and we'll move to the opposite side. Lean against the wall. Head, shoulders, upper back, your hips, right? And we'll just side bend here like we're a teapot. We can stay here with the hand by the knee, head lifted on top of the shoulders in a neutral position. And then we'll turn towards the wall. See if we can revolve our triangle using the wall to help us stay balanced. Inhaling to lift back up, releasing the foot, turning those toes forward and walking the feet together. Let's do something very similar. I'm going to end up using the chair for this. We can stand facing the back of a chair. We'll step one foot back behind, turn the toes to the long edge of the mat. So the feet are 90 degrees different. We're going to lean into this front knee. We're going to come into an extended side angle. Reaching our arm up and over or keeping it at our hip or waist. Maybe leaning onto a block or the seat or the back of a chair. We're at the wall. Safely practicing yoga here, modifying it to match our body's needs. As you're ready, inhale to lift. We'll back out of that pose in the reverse, how we went into it. Straighten the forward knee, turn those toes, walk the feet together, set our props up on the opposite side. Starting with walking away from the chair, stepping one foot back, coming into that warrior two shape, finding extended side angle, maybe reversing or revolving rather, I'm sorry, extended side angle, maybe using the hands at the heart. Making this practice your own. And then turning the toes forward, walking or heel toeing the feet together, coming to a mountain pose. From here, we'll walk the feet out wide one more time. We're leaning against the wall here. Let's inhale the arms out and up, just like a sun breath, seated. Exhale, nose dive, forward fold. Bend the elbows, bend the knees as much or as little as you'd like. Come down onto the seat of the chair or use blocks, releasing and relaxing the head, pressing down evenly through all four corners of both feet. Feeling the nice stretch of this shape in the hamstrings. Lifting the hips towards the sky. Now we're at the wall. Let's place our hands on the floor, deeply bending our knees to reach, and we'll continue to lower the hips down. Lowering the hips. Put one hand behind, the other hand in front, and we'll come to a seated position. We're still using the wall. We're in a wide angle here, seated. Let's point and flex the feet. Wiggle the toes here. Maybe windshield wiper the feet. And breathe. Back, resting on the wall. Shoulders back and down. Back of the head resting as well. Bring your feet to stillness and let's sun breath our arms up overhead on the next inhale. Exhale, let's come into a forward fold. Press through both heels and begin to reach your hands forward. Let the arms and hands drop fast. See if you can stay with the spine extended for a breath or two or 5. And then as you're ready on an exhale, feeling the extension after the last inhale, start to round your spine and shoulders. Drop your head, the crown of the head lowers as the chin tucks. Holding your forward fold in this wide angle for a few breaths. On the next inhale, keep your hands low or lift them up as high as you'd like. Coming back up to a seated position, nice and tall through the spine. Exhale, the arms come down by your side. Let's move into seated butterfly pose, bringing the soles of both feet together, knees out to the side. And let's place the blocks underneath the knees or where the thighs meet the floor. We'll sit up nice and tall, spine against the wall, helping us with our posture. The wall is just a wonderful, wonderful way to experience postures that are aligned. We're going to move from this shape to pressing our feet against a wall. So we're going to scooch a little bit, perhaps, until we can place our feet up against the wall, seated on our sits bones. Feet are hip distance apart. We'll sit up nice and tall. Let your feet press into the wall. Let your legs press into the floor, your sits bones pressing into the floor. Spine lengthened and extended, lifting on an inhale towards the stars. Let's let our hands come back behind us, bending up through the elbows, interlacing the fingers. Start to straighten your arms, roll your shoulders back and down. Bring your chin to a neutral position. Hold here an umbrella as you breathe, or lift your hands back up behind you, up and back behind you. Opening the chest, opening the front side body. Strong in the core, exhaling to lower the hands and letting the arms and hands release to the front. Legs and feet still pressing down and out. All right, let's move from here into Quarks pose. We'll come all the way down to the floor, bringing our strap with us. And leaving our blanket close by. Oh, I did forget to stand on this balance prop. You get the idea. It's helpful to stand and have the surface kind of move under your feet, causing you to have to tense up different parts of the sole of each foot to be able to keep your balance. Lots of little devices you can collect over the years. That's all it's been. That's all I've done is get a few things trickling really over the past probably 20 years. Let's move into wind relieving pose. So pick which leg you want to draw up towards your chest first. You can wrap the strap around that leg. Use the strap to draw your knee towards your chest more. You can wiggle the foot here. Pointing and flexing. Let's wiggle the toes. You might lengthen through the leg you're not using, not bending right now. Press through that heel. just kind of to feel the difference in the body between something being really constricted and tucked in and then something being stretched out, lengthened. Nice difference there. Let's release a little bit of the tension on that strap. We're going to move the knee from the right to the left. We'll move the knee. Try to keep the foot as still as you can. You might be sort of rocking on your hips and shoulders just a little bit side to side. Then pay attention to your foot as you still your knee and rock your foot from side to side. All of this we're doing with the knee brought in towards the body, just moving the hip different ways, moving the foot and then moving the knee, keeping the foot still, vice versa. When you're ready, exhale to release the leg you first chose, and we'll bend up through the opposite knee. Wrap the strap around the top of the shin there to draw this leg in toward us, loosening up the hip joint. Maybe loosening up the ankle joint too by rolling the ankle, pointing and flexing the feet, wiggling the toes in this wind relieving pose here. Next, let's leave the foot still and start to move the knee from the left to the right. We can support the leg with the hands or with the strap still as we move the knee, keeping the foot still over the center of the body. Then let your knee be still and move the foot left and right. Pointing, maybe you're flexing while you do that, doesn't matter. Feeling the body move in these different ways. And then releasing the left foot. We'll hold on to the strap. Let's bend up through each knee. Let's begin to do windshield wiper. Exhaling to lower both knees, inhaling to lift. Letting the knees sway from side to side. Arms in whatever position feels good for the body. Next time the knees are straight up and down towards the sky, you can still them. Let's lengthen through both legs. We'll bend up through the first knee one more time, just like we did before, wrapping the strap around this leg at the shin, drawing the knee into the body, wind relieving. But let's now turn it into pigeon, reclining pigeon, by holding on to the bent knee foot and drawing it across the midline. See if we can get the heel to line up with the opposite hip. We're going to hold this leg in, either using this foot, either using the strap or not, using the hands. Getting a stretch in whatever shape we landed up in, and taking a few breaths here in this shape. Press through the heel of the extended leg for a few breaths. And then release the foot you've brought toward you. Straighten that leg out next to the opposite side. Bend up through the other knee, draw it in. Same as before, maybe using the strap, or maybe you're using your hands. Coming into pigeon from here. Keeping that leg in towards the body, but orienting the foot past the midline. Taking a few breaths here on this side. On your next exhale, release the knee that you've been holding on to for reclined pigeon. Release your strap and then bend up through both knees. Bring each foot onto the floor. We're going to come into reclined eagle. Let's cross our first leg over the right. We'll start with the same leg each of these times. And we can keep our foot here on the floor with the other leg crossed over it, or we can lift that foot up. We can lift, which lifts both feet up, and we'll bring the lower legs and feet parallel to the floor, even with the knees. We'll inhale both arms out to the side, wide like wings. And as we exhale, whichever leg is on top, we'll bring the opposite elbow on top. Bend deeply through each elbow. Give yourself a hug. Inhale, bringing the lower arms together. Wrap one hand around the other or hold on to a finger or thumb. Inhale, lifting the hands towards and past the top of the mat. Using your core here to stay balanced side to side. Exhale. Let the elbows release towards the thighs and knees. Unwind the hands, unwind the legs. Come into a seed pose, both knees tucked into the chest and rock from side to side. Next time your knees are directly over your chest, your nose is pointing to the sky. Let's set up our eagle on the opposite side. Release the knees on an exhale. Let the feet float down to the floor, hip distance apart. Lift your opposite foot, cross it over, thigh against thigh, knees aligned as much as possible. Inhale, maybe lifting the legs, the lower legs, lifting the feet. Next inhale opens the arms out wide like wings. As you exhale, opposite elbow from the top leg is on top. Exhale to hug. Inhale, eagle arms and hands. Next inhale, lifts the fingertips towards the wall behind your head. Exhale, elbows come towards knees and thighs. We'll unwrap, come back into our seed pose to rock from left to right. From here, move into student choice. Just like you did student choice pranayama breath work at the beginning of class, think of an asana your body might still want to do. Maybe it's a yoga walk. Maybe it's happy baby. Maybe it's a twist left and right. Maybe you want to come into an early constructive rest or corpse pose for your final shavasana. Doing what your body feels like. Not worrying about anyone else's agenda. Taking a few more breaths in your final shape before sinking into the Savasana shape. Letting your body find comfortable stillness. Tucking the chin slightly below the forehead. Maybe rocking the head quickly from left to right to get to the center and the back. Maybe using a block and a ball behind the head to do a little more fascia work while you're here. Maybe placing a tennis ball under a shoulder or a hip. Let your body settle both physically and let your mind settle mentally and emotionally. Begin to let your breath flow more evenly in and out of your body. Try to lengthen each half of your breath. And try to smooth out the transitions between the inhales and the exhales, and the exhales and the inhales. Let the next breath in be a little deeper. Releasing and relaxing as much of the body as you can. Take 3 to 5 more breaths here. And as you're ready, slowly begin to rock your head from left to right. Moving as slowly as you can. Waking up the body little by little. Keep your eyes closed. And if your legs are straight, let your next inhale bend up through each knee, bringing the sole of each foot to the mat, hip distance apart. Let's do a few windshield wipers side to side with our breath. Inhaling to lift both knees, exhaling to release them, alternating side to side. The next time you inhale, your knees both up to center and over to your favorite side for sleeping. Keep them there and begin to stack the shoulders and the hips as you shift to one side, stacking knees and elbows as well, wrists and ankles. Let your next inhale press you up away from the floor. If that's where you are, maybe sitting up nice and tall in your chair. If that's where you are, closing our class together today, coming to a comfortable seat, legs in any position, arms down by our sides, inhaling to lift the arms out and up. Palms touch, press into one another. Exhale, lower your hands to your chest, elbows out to the side. Sitting nice and tall. Closing down the eyes if they were opened, if that's comfortable. And let the next exhale lower the chin to the chest as we bow to the divine within us. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Inhale to lift your chin back to neutral. You can flutter open your eyes, release your hands, and thank you all so much for joining me for yoga and how to modify. I hope you got some good ideas for things you can do to help stretch your body, help it feel good in different ways, whether it be using the yoga Pilates ball that I showed, the yoga wheel, a chair, maybe a balancing prop, a strap, tennis ball, blocks. I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you so much again. Take care and see you soon, I hope.